Morning, happy Tuesday. It's Kitty Boitnott of Boitnott Coaching, or Kitty at careermakeover.coachesconsole.com. Now, I won't kid you, it's not Tuesday morning at 5:45. It is Sunday afternoon. And so if I seem a little subdued, it's because I'm a little, more than a little sad about the news this morning that has been streaming on the news outlets all about the shooting in Orlando, Florida. And I'm just really profoundly sad that we are yet again going through this national mourning together, this grieving, and this wondering why, what in the world is happening? Why are we repeatedly having to go through this kind of grief as a country? But I don't know the answers. So I'm going to move on. The topic for today is I want to first invite you to a webinar that I'm offering next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. I'll put the link in the notes for today, the newsletter. I would love for you to join me. If you haven't been to one of my LinkedIn webinars, I encourage you to consider joining me for this one. I'll be talking about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Now, if you are like a lot of people who I talk to on a regular basis, you may be one of the people who say, "Oh, I don't need LinkedIn. I have an account, but I haven't done anything with it. I'm a teacher. I don't need LinkedIn. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't need LinkedIn. I have my own website." Or, I haven't been looking for work for a long time. I think I have an account, but I'm not sure. I don't even remember my password. I don't care what you do, what profession you're in, what enterprise you may be engaged in. I've come to believe that each of us needs a LinkedIn profile. That it's fast becoming a necessity. Unless you're planning to live in a cave for the next 25 years. And the reason I say that is that, while most of us have been on Facebook for a long time, we've come to love or hate Facebook depending on our particular point of view. But we use Facebook for fun, for family, for friends. We share, we like, we comment on the events of other people's lives, or the photographs that they post, or the funny videos that they post every day. It's fun. Facebook is fun. And billions of people all over the world use Facebook every day. Now, LinkedIn hasn't reached that sort of saturation point yet. But let me share a few perhaps unknown statistics about LinkedIn and why you need a LinkedIn profile. As of the end of April, which was the last time I checked, there were over 430 million LinkedIn users all over the world. So if there are billions of users on Facebook, I think the growth for LinkedIn is maybe not even more than the tip of the iceberg at the moment. But still, there are 430 million professionals on LinkedIn. The average income of LinkedIn users, and this may be why my teacher peeps think, well, I don't need to be on LinkedIn. The average income is $100,000, which means that most of them are professionals. Many of them are executives. Many of them run their own company. And so if you aren't in that category income-wise, you may think you don't need to be there. What I would suggest to you is that if you would aspire to join the ranks of those who make $100,000 or more, you might want to get on LinkedIn and start connecting with some of those folks. Learn about some of the opportunities that may be available. You may not be aware that LinkedIn runs a jobs board that has begun to rival Monster, Indeed, Career Builder, and ZipRecruiter, many of the other job boards that people have been relying on to find jobs. In many cases, companies are posting jobs on LinkedIn before or instead of posting on the other job boards. 107 million and growing by 2 new members per second are U.S. users alone. But LinkedIn is being used in 200 plus countries and 20 different languages. When I say that I think it's becoming a necessity for everyone who isn't living in a cave to have an optimized, fully functioning, fully filled out LinkedIn profile, I'm not kidding. So I want to invite you to the webinar. I also want you to consider buying for $9 the LinkedIn infographic that I just launched this week. Now, I want to tell you, I've had a lot of people who are interested in it, and I haven't had anybody but one person so far buy it. One person. Out of over 163 clicks on the lead magnet that I'll put the link to in the newsletter. And the reason for that, I think, is that when you hit the buy button, you get taken to my Coach's Console sales page. And in order to get to the PayPal, where you will put in your $9 in the credit card to get your beautiful, I mean, it is, I'm not kidding you, it's a beautiful infographic worth well more than $9. But when you get to, before you can get to the actual transaction page with PayPal, there's this other page that requires you to set up a secure account where you put in your name, and then the digital Coach's Console assigns you a unique username and password. Well, you don't need that if you're just buying an infographic, right? So I have registered my concern with the people who run Coach's Console. It may be that I'm going to have to look at a different kind of shopping cart. I don't want to do that, but it may be that I'll end up having to do that. But if you're already one of my clients and you're already on my newsletter list, all you're going to end up doing is entering your email, your name and your email, and then you're going to be taken to the PayPal page where you can put in your secure credit card information and purchase this beautiful infographic on LinkedIn for only $9. And because you're already on my email list, nothing else is going to happen. You're not going to suddenly be bombarded with any more email than you already get from me, which I try to keep at a minimum. So I wanted to let you know that if you are interested in the LinkedIn infographic to help you optimize your LinkedIn profile, please do buy it for only $9. But don't be intimidated by the first page where you are asked to log in or create a secure account. That's just a formality. It'll take you then to the PayPal page that'll look more familiar to you if you've ever bought anything from PayPal, through PayPal. So I'm serious when I say that I'm offering this not as much as a product that I want you to buy, as a service that I want to provide. I absolutely believe in everything I'm saying about LinkedIn. And to illustrate that, I have a friend who's moving to Boston this week because he was recruited by someone who found him on LinkedIn. And he'd been ignoring the calls from the recruiters because he was, for all intents and purposes, happy where he was until he wasn't. And then he decided to talk to the recruiters and find out what they had to offer. He's been offered a fantastic new job in Boston, and he's moving this week. It works. So whether you are happily employed and not interested at all in what LinkedIn might have to offer, I'd invite you to reconsider that. I'm offering a link to the blog post I did this week asking, do you need LinkedIn? And the answer is yes. Yes, you do. And here is why. So take a look at that in case you're not yet convinced. and I'll talk to you next week.